Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 8 of our F1 2001 career mode. Yes, we've reached the halfway stage of the season and we are back at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Of course, my home race and McLaren's home race as well. If you missed out on the Austrian Grand Prix that went live last week, I would highly recommend going back and checking out. We've got just, like I said, this season so far has been wildly unpredictable. We've had 4 different winners in the opening 7 Grand Prix, and all of them have driven either a Williams or a McLaren Mercedes there. But we have a 24-point buffer over Jacques Villeneuve at the top of the table. Heinz-Harald Frentzen got his first win on the board last weekend, so he will be looking to try and remind everybody once more what a force he is inside this series. David Coulthard, he's been a little bit more up and down. When he's finished quite well, but 4 DNFs from the opening 7 Grand Prix for our teammate is really not the season so far that he would have wanted. Of course, we are just a few days away from 2025. I'm really excited for the new year and obviously to bring you guys loads more content. So if you're excited for that, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourselves subscribed to the channel. I think 2025 is going to be a really good year for Formula 1 content. I remain optimistic, so hopefully you guys are going to enjoy that. But we've still got a couple more races to do in 2024. Let's head out into qualifying here for the British Grand Prix. Well, we've won our fair share of races so far in this series, but here at Silverstone at home, still a Grand Prix that we are yet to win, of course. Another incredibly power-orientated circuit here at Silverstone. So, yeah, we've brought another couple of powertrain upgrades to the car this weekend, just in that fierce development race with Williams as well. We've just got to keep trying to bring as many upgrades as we possibly can. Of course, this is a track on paper that we would expect Ferrari to be pretty competitive at as well, but yeah, it's pretty impossible to predict their performances so far in this campaign. Of course, David Coulthard, I'm sure he'd love to try and get a win as well this weekend. I'm still chasing my first ever pole position inside this series. More than 50 Grand Prix in, we have never ended up P1 come the end of a qualifying there as we make our way through the old turn 1. Absolutely sending it on the entry there, and you can still see Ferrari, Williams and McLaren all fighting at the front. Williams has still claimed every pole position so far this year, but will that record extend this weekend? Looks like David Coulthard has got some pace as we make our way down in towards the final few corners of the lap there, well in excess of 200 miles an hour by the time we get down the end of the Hangar Straight. Will it be Coulthard, though, that is going to end Williams' dominance of a Saturday afternoon through the final couple of corners? Will Coulthard storm to pole position? No, he won't. Villeneuve sneaks it away at the line. And once again, we end up P4. Well, that has got to be one of the closest qualifying sessions we've seen since 1997. They're 200ths of a second covering our top 3 come the end of that session. But once again, it is going to be Jacques Villeneuve that takes pole position here. It just goes to show this McLaren car is very quick. Sadly for me, 6/10 away, but I'm sure we can try and find a lot of that pace as we head into the Grand Prix there. Fisichella, Ralf Schumacher, Janae Hakkinen are all up inside the top 8 as well, as Michael Schumacher, again, only lines up down in P13.
Welcome along then to Great Britain and the Great Silverstone circuit for today's Grand Prix. The 3.6 miles of the Silverstone circuit in Great Britain is hallowed ground to the Formula One faithful. We have 18 corners that wrap around this former World War II airbase and some good passing opportunities at the end of the DRS zones.
Well, at least based on qualifying then, this is the closest McLaren have been to Williams in terms of raw pace all season long so far. And boy, oh boy, do I want to try and capitalise that and use it to our advantage today. It's meant to be sunny skies throughout the entirety of the Grand Prix here at Silverstone. So let's try and fight for the victory. I'm willing to put it all on the line this weekend to take a sniff at the win. It is 5 red lights here on the grid. And it's going to be lights out, and away we go then. Not off to a particularly great start as we make our way down towards turn 1. Giancarlo Fisichella, whoa, will really try and suck it in front of me through that first corner. And might even try and have a look for a move on Frentzen as well there. A little bit of a lock-up from the second Williams driver down at those first couple of corners. But will we see that Benetton car quite strong early on here? Of course, Frentzen had a good race out last time in Austria, avoided the chaos, which seems to pretty much be the key all season long so far. But you can already see Frentzen trying to hound our teammate Coulthard, and we got yellows and we got a safety car. Of course we do. Who's binned it? Well, here we go then. Riding on board, I believe this is with Jean Alesi. He's got one of the Ferraris having a look down his inside, and, well, just completely miscommunication there. That's just the second weekend in a row we've seen a Jordan and a Ferrari come together. But yeah, he is out on lap 1. Well, I'm going to take a bit of a gamble then, and I'm going to dive into the pit lane at the end of lap 1. But this is actually more to do with the setup of the car. I don't think we've got enough straight line speed. So I'm going to actually opt to take some new tyres, of course. And I'm going to opt to lower the front downforce. So that's hopefully going to mean we can carve our way through just a little bit quicker here. Now, I'm not expecting this to be the only safety car of the GP, so, I mean, yeah, we're not trying to do it in terms of getting to the end on strategy, but I'm hoping, yeah, it's going to make us a little bit quicker. I feel like we just weren't, I think we were running a bit too much downforce in qualifying, but yeah, now we've got to try and make some moves happen, though, as we're going to be restarting right at the back. Well, admittedly, the Minardis probably aren't going to be our best comparison for straight line speed in a Grand Prix, but yeah, let's just wait and see how quickly we can make our way back through the order then. We have taken a huge gamble here. Jacques Villeneuve, his early great start, unfortunately got completely evaporated as well. But maybe we could do with there being less chaos throughout the rest of the afternoon, as we are green flag racing once again here at Silverstone. And first up, going to be the only man that hasn't scored a point this year, Fernando Alonso. Down the inside immediately we'll go to turn 1, but boy oh boy, we have got very little in the way of front-end downforce, as you would expect in this car now. Can we have a look down the inside of Jarno Trulli? Yes, we can. And, well, they will try and switch me on the exit the corner, but that's 2 places gained quite easily. Again, though, it is the Minardis. They're about 2 seconds a lap slower than anybody else. But looking at the straight line speed, even down in towards the old turn 1, we have got a lot of it now. So Jensen Button, again, I don't want to, take any unnecessary risks trying to carve our way through some of these backmarker cars. There, JB, of course, never even got a podium here at Silverstone during his time in Formula 1. I don't think that's going to happen today. That Arrows car is not looking particularly racy here. And yeah, kind of this circuit really does isolate your backmarkers a bit more. It's so kind of power orientated, and obviously really tests the high-speed aspects of a Formula 1 car as well. As you can see, Johnny Herbert, who obviously got that podium last weekend for BAR in the Styria Mountains. That was quite a feel-good story for both he and the team. Just trying to defend from his teammate Kimi Räikkönen there, as around the outside of Juan Pablo Montoya. Another driver had a very good Austrian Grand Prix, his first ever Formula 1 points last weekend. Next up is another rookie. Don't often see moves going through there, but hopefully we can try and switch Kimi Räikkönen off of Luffield there. Maybe have a look for a move down the inside at the old turn 1. Of course, at this time, there's nothing really wrong with this. It's a bit of a scary move to go for, but there's no kind of assumption as to what might happen with that, like there would be 20 years further down the line. Next up then, Johnny Herbert way off the line as we make our way through the next couple of corners there. I can see Schumacher battling it out with Alex Wurz, and I'm not too sure. It might be a Sauber car just in front. So that Ferrari, again, is an absolute missile in a straight line, but just has nothing through the corners there. It's, yeah, Jos Verstappen in that Sauber. He gets relegated to P11. The grip we've got through 1 and 2 is ridiculous there. We were a good half a second behind Alex Wurz when we made our way into that first corner, but by the time we're through turn 2 there, we're alongside and we're past. And we're up then into P12. Annoyingly, not getting any data about what fastest laps people are doing. So we've done a 1:33.2. I've got no idea if that's any good or not. Verstappen's Formula 1 career has absolutely been rejuvenated. Making the move to the Sauber team. He's been a little bit overshadowed by Marc Genet there as he almost makes contact with his old Benetton teammate Michael Schumacher. We will try and get the run off the exit of the corner there, and well, no matter how little downforce we run or how many upgrades we bring, we've definitely not got the same straight line speed as that Ferrari car. As watching these two go wheel to wheel, it's not often that we get a lot of wheel to wheel battles inside this game, but still Schumacher desperately trying to hang on in that Ferrari there. I mean, if I was them, I'd just be completely sacking off this year and focusing on their 2002 car. Clearly, they have not gone the right way with the upgrades this year, but can we try and have a look past Jos Verstappen? Yes, we can. To the inside once again at turn 3. That's probably going to be our best place to make overtakes all day. I've got to admit, it is nice for the first time ever inside this game to feel like we have truly got a car quicker than Ferrari there as well. Schumacher, he wanted to try and defend it, he wanted to try and hook it up around the outside through Maggots and Beckett's there, but not going to happen for him. And we will immediately get in pursuit of his teammate Mika Häkkinen. It always had to be the case though, didn't it, inside this series, that once we finally get Häkkinen and Schumacher, two legends of the sport alongside each other, Ferrari give them a dog of a car. Well, I wonder if Häkkinen has any regrets about leaving McLaren at the start of this season there. The fact that he's gone to Ferrari that have dominated the last 3 years, and suddenly it's McLaren that are the ones with the fastest car there. I mean, he's got experience of driving some pretty terrible cars inside this series. Of course, that 2000 McLaren didn't take a single victory, so probably a good explanation as to why Häkkinen seemingly has done better than Michael Schumacher so far this campaign. Villeneuve, though, is at the front still, setting high 1-minute 30s. Our best lap of a 1:32.3. We are still losing time to the Canadian. We try and get the power down against Jan Magnussen there, as there we go, 1:31.5. So we are building up more and more confidence.
We need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop.
Already our engineer then talking about not pitting again, as we will send it to the inside of one of those Jags. And up, I mean, we're already up into P8. We have really carved our way back through. I really hadn't processed just how quickly we carved our way back through the order early on in this race. As Schumacher of the Routh variety, oh, he actually dives into the pit lane there, so we won't watch him battle with Rubens Barrichello as we get a big moment through the final couple of corners. Are we going to be able to get close enough to that Jaguar to have a look down at turn 1? As, yeah, we're not seeing that many cars into the pit lane just yet, so I think cars are slowly going to trickle through. You can just see the confidence we've got there. We need to really hang on to the car through 1 there, and that opens up the line through 2. And we've gained another one then. Coulthard, though, already 10 seconds up the road. Well, there we go. DC in, so that is a little bit earlier than I was expecting him to. Especially when you factor in we've already had a safety car in this race, but yeah, the team obviously already mentioned about how we probably should try and effectively no-stop this Grand Prix. I mean, there's always a roll of the dice to be had inside this game. There's already Frentzen 13 seconds up the road in P2. I reckon we've got to at least try it if we want to have a shot at the win. We are setting new personal bests every single lap at the moment, whilst we've enjoyed some clear air over the last few, but still, those Williams cars pull away. Oh, that is terrible news for us. Who's gone? I got no idea, but that is heartbreaking. Well, I tell you what, for a struggling Minardi team this season, this is not what they needed. Alonso trying to have a look around the outside of his teammate, completely misjudges it, and the Minardis have come to blows, and Alonso is out of the British GP. Well, this does potentially really harm our Grand Prix so far, because of course it effectively means Williams are going to get a free pit stop and still be out in front. What I'm going to do, therefore, is actually join them in the pits and hope that we can just outpace them in the second half of this Grand Prix. Now, I assume we're going to see Giancarlo Fisichella into the pits as well, so we're just all going to take it nice and easy on the way in there. Make sure I don't run into the back of Giancarlo here, but yeah, Frenzen's going to lose out a little bit of time in the pit stops. Barrichello and Jan Magnussen obviously are also going to have to double stack down there. So I'm hoping we can just come out ahead of one of the Ferraris here. So hopefully we get a nice, clean, tidy stop. Come on, let me go. There we go. That's fantastic. Might have ran over a Ferrari mechanic's leg, but we'll, you know, kind of not worry about that one. So where will David Coulthard come out? Raikkonen's going to stay out there in his BAR. Clearly they want another podium. But I was expecting Coulthard. There he is. Now just showing up on a relative. He's going to be up in P4. Oh, it's Johnny Herbert once again. He's going to roll the dice with the safety car. And he's just got out between myself and Giancarlo. Well, Williams then have a golden opportunity here to bolt away, as David Coulthard will have to try and find a way around Kimi Raikkonen. Obviously, weird to think that those two were teammates for a couple of years in the sport as well. But about to go green flag racing then once more. With 10 laps left of the British Grand Prix, it is still Williams leading the way at the front of the order, but McLaren with their all-British lineup, I can't help but feel that the fans would rather see us take the victory than either Villeneuve or Frentzen, as we try and make our way through turn 1 and turn 2. Not close enough that time around there, as we've got to try and put some heat into the tyres. Just see a little bit all over the road, and already those Williams cars absolutely bolting it, as Coulthard can't find a way around Kimi Raikkonen either. Can we get a run on Johnny Herbert as we make our way down the Wellington Straight? Let's just wait and see in towards the next corner there. He does run a little bit deep on the apex. Maybe we can go round him through Luffield there, as Coulthard trying the same thing against Raikkonen just a little bit further up. We will find the grip though, and we will get around the outside there. But Herbert, he's not going to give up on this. Johnny Herbert, our former teammate, is really putting up a good run for his money at the moment. As around the outside though, we will swoop. As you can just see there, now we've got yellows out. That must be a car a little bit further back. Green flag racing once again. As we've got a VSC. As Fisichella then can't get around Kimi Raikkonen. And Coulthard, that gap between him and the Williams, well, it won't go up anymore. Really not sure what BAR's plans are in this Grand Prix at the moment. Why neither of their drivers have still pit. So you don't get any red flags or anything like that inside F1 2020, so they're really just trying to stretch it as far as they can, I guess, hoping that they'll have a massive tyre delta towards the end of the GP there. You see Fisichella now really trying to hang Raikkonen for that P4 position, as we will try and look around the outside of the Italian there, get the power down on the exit of the corner. But again, that Benetton is pretty quick inside this series. You can already see the Williams bolting away at the front of the order, as we will try and go slow in, fast out through the old turn 1. Here goes Giancarlo though, trying to look for a move on Raikkonen, who was going to really squeeze him. Somehow Giancarlo Fisichella though will find the move, and that is a beautiful little overtake there, as we almost run into the back of the BAR as well. Raikkonen will hang on, as we've got another driver at the Grand Prix a bit further back. Down the inside though, big send past Kimi Raikkonen. We've got another safety car. What on earth is going on? Can't actually see what's happened on this one, but I'm slightly concerned it's the Ferraris that have come together. Because Michael Schumacher, I believe... No, sorry, this is Hakkinen, isn't it? Schumacher just up in front. Hakkinen's lost a wheel. And yeah, I reckon he has collided with his teammate. What that is going to do is it's going to allow BAR to now try and claim a cheap pit stop in this Grand Prix late on in the day. It's also going to allow Coulthard and I to close back up to those Williams once more. But yeah, Giancarlo Fisichella in the way. I just cannot find a way around him. But it felt like a lot of the races early on in the season had plenty of safety cars early in the race, and then there just weren't enough safety cars left. Last couple of rounds, it feels like they've all started to happen right towards the end of a GP there. But Jacques Villeneuve, once again, will lead the field through the final couple of corners. I've got to try and get around Fisichella as soon as I possibly can. as we will put the power down at that final corner once more. I expect we're going to see the Williams just try and run away a little bit, but make sure we're a lot more planted through 1 and turn 2, and down the inside of Giancarlo will go back into P4 of yet another Grand Prix. We've had 2 P1s, we've had 2 P2s, we've had 3 P4 finishes so far this year. I do not want another one. Oh no, we've got more yellows out further back. Please don't be yet another safety car late on in the day. Nope, I think we're okay, as Villeneuve will set 29.5. So yeah, your top runners all getting quicker and quicker towards the end of the GP, but we've got to try and find a way around David Coulthard. He's often been the quicker of the 2 McLaren drivers over 1 lap, but as soon as you get into the races, we just seem to have the edge over the Scotsman at the moment. He's able to keep up with Heinz-Harald Frentzen. It is only really Villeneuve that's pulling away. Well, I certainly feel that the setup tweak we made early on in the GP has been worthwhile in trying to allow us to get a little bit extra speed over a lot of other drivers, but will it help us out against the other big names so far this series? You can just see by the time we get towards the end of the hangar straight there, we just cannot get any closer to David Coulthard here. And although it is 4 British cars fighting at the front, it's only 2 British drivers, or say drivers from the United Kingdom. So David Coulthard would have words to say, as Villeneuve again 8/10 faster than us on that last lap. At the very least, I just want to try and get a podium today. As you can just see, trying to dip a wheel in the grass just to find any more grip. Oh, come on, David Coulthard, man. At least let me have a go against Heinz-Harald Frentzen here. If I can't get past him, I'll give you back the place right at the end of this. But McLaren, we have got to start making the difficult decisions. We have got to start using me, you know, as the number 1. Use Coulthard as a rear gunner a bit more. I know, obviously, it's very, very easy for me to say being in this position right now, but we've got almost 100 points on our teammate in the opening half of the season. Surely it's time. Oh, Coulthard just makes a little bit of a mistake with 2 laps to go as he tries to put the power down out of the loop there, and I was just about to talk about how just quick Giancarlo Fisichella has looked in that Benetton today. He's just, yeah, really seemingly proving himself as the best of the rest over the last couple of races, but suddenly our attention turns to David Coulthard once again, and can we try and find a way around our teammate on the last lap of this Grand Prix? So just try and make our way through the old turn 1 there. Just see how much downforce you lose in these older cars. So much more difficult to try and follow each other around the circuit right now, but as we'll try and get the power down out onto the hangar straight there, he's nowhere near close enough to be in the slipstream of Heinz-Harald Frentzen, and once again Williams have just got that little bit more. It is so frustrating how close we feel we can stay, but just not quite able to do anything against them. And well, no matter how many upgrades we bring, they always just seem to have a little bit more there. Villeneuve 29.0 on that last lap. We do a 29.5. But will we be close enough through 1 and 2 to try and have a look past DC there as we throw the car in through 1? He's got the grip through the second corner there, and we just, you know, we cannot afford to send it because the AI will turn in, and especially obviously against our teammate, we cannot afford to have an accident, especially on this last lap. Williams, of course, I believe with this result will reclaim the lead of the Constructors' Championship as well there, but obviously it's looking like it's going to be yet another 1-2, but who will be joining them on the podium as we try and have a look right the way around the outside of DC through Luffield there, just see if we can throw him off on the exit of the corner. That hasn't quite worked out for us. So as we make our way back through the old turn 1 for the final time there, really chucking the car onto the curbs. Of course, early 2000s track limits were a lot more forgiving than modern day Formula 1 there. So as we just try and dance the car through, I think we might be out of opportunities there. DC again struggles to put the power down though, off the exit onto the hangar straight. We are gaining, but it's not going to be enough at the moment. Will we be able to do anything in towards these final few corners? Jacques Villeneuve, he is going to claim his 4th victory of the year there. Heinzald Frentzen will make it yet another Williams 1-2. Coulthard will hang on, and for us, it is an agonising P4.
Plenty of action here at Silverstone. It was a memorable race, and what an impressive victory. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
Well, there we are then. Jacques Villeneuve will claim victory here at Silverstone ahead of his teammate Heinzald Frentzen. And Williams, well, for the first time in a couple of Grand Prix, they will walk away with a 1-2 there. David Coulthard in third ahead of myself. Ultimately, yeah, we just did not quite have the pace when all is said and done. And maybe actually qualifying was where this car looks stronger this weekend. Fisichella, brilliant drive to P5 ahead of Schumacher, well, both Schumachers even, in P6 and P7 there. Barrichello, Jos Verstappen and Jenson Button once again will get a point on the board for arrows as well there. So a really good job done come the end of the day. Hakkinen, Magnussen, Genet, Wirtz, Alonso and Alesi, who all failed to see the finish there. But what does that mean to our championship standings? Well, it means our gap at the top has been slashed to just 11 points ahead of Villeneuve there. Frentzen still a little way away ahead of David Coulthard, with Barrichello now ahead of Giancarlo as well, there who gets the jump on Marc Genet, and of course still at the rear of the field it is just Alonso yet to score a point. Williams re-jump us as well, 10 points in that battle, the gap though, so hopefully we're going to be able to try and just keep on them throughout the rest of the campaign, but still we need more and more upgrades if we want to have a chance to fight. Thank you all so much for watching this video though, and to everyone as well, obviously, that only watches this series, I believe, if I haven't messed up, this will be the last video from this series going out in 2024. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone for the support as well. You know, it really does mean the world to me. And like I said, I reckon 2025 is going to be an even better year. But yeah, that's going to do us for this one. And we'll be back very soon when I believe we head to the Hungaroring.